We live in an age based on science and technology with formidable technological powers. And if we don't understand it, by we, I mean the general public, if it's something that, oh, I'm not good at that, I don't know anything about it, then who is making all the decisions about science and technology that are going to determine what kind of future our children live in?
Our story begins over 2,000 years ago in the time of the ancient Greeks with Euclid, who's often known as the father of geometry. Euclid's book on geometry, The Elements, is still considered one of the most influential mathematical books of all time.
So when we learn geometry, one of the things we want to acknowledge is that the geometry we're actually learning is called Euclidean geometry. It is the geometry with which we are most familiar that deals with flat space, stuff on the coordinate plane. And here the rules are all very familiar. The angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees, lines go on forever, etc.
Okay, so we saw the first postulate already, that between 2 points you can draw a line segment. What are the others? The second is that if you have a line segment already, you can extend it as far as you wished into a line. The third says that given a central point in some radius, you can draw a circle. The fourth is that right angles are right angles, but no matter where you draw them, all right angles are the same. So all four of those axioms are just pretty straightforward, very reasonable things to accept.
If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's Q. That's the geometric horizon. Not Q, because the horizon distance greater than 9.41 miles. Therefore not P. The Earth is not a sphere.
The power of R compels you. Power of R compels you to believe such silly things.
Ready, set, go.
Here is a picture of the Earth. And you can see in this box here, they have zoomed in very, very close onto one little section of Japan. And at that scale, things are basically flat. And so we use Euclidean geometry to describe angle measures and distances and lines and these things, because it's basically flat.
And the idea here is this is a statement that is so completely obvious that we're all just going to agree that it's true.
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm a mathematician, and today we're going to talk about the difference between Euclidean and non-Euclidean geometry. Euclidean geometry is the geometry that you all know and love from school, and non-Euclidean, there's many different kinds, and the two main ones are spherical and hyperbolic.
Now, here's the argument. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's the geometric horizon.
Something like between any 2 points, you can draw a unique line segment between them. Obvious, right? The idea here is that we're not proving that a postulate is true from some more fundamental truth. We're making the choice to accept it as true in the geometry that we're trying to construct.
The distance to the horizon maximum for a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles is 1.22 miles. Based on geometry, that's it. It's hardcore. That's it.
And so you get this kind of enormous mathematical edifice from these underlying, very obvious and basic assumptions that we just make the choice to accept.
Right? The argument is solely the horizon behind the second platform, which everyone can see. I don't care if there's a Chinese Superman on a hobbled refracted unicorn wearing a tutu on these platforms. Don't care. That's not the argument. If you bring it up, it's a red herring fallacy. That is a diversion or irrelevant. My argument is purely on the horizon, behind the second platform. I hope that's clear to everyone.
But if you zoom out far enough, the Earth is a sphere, or approximately a sphere. It's a globe. It's no longer a Euclidean space.
Spherical tells me that there are no such lines. So if I'm given a line, I'm given a point. There are no such lines through which there's no such points through which a line will pass and it will be parallel to the one that was given. And then hyperbolic tells me there are actually more than one line, that there are at least two lines that are going to be parallel to the one that I was already given. So that's the main difference. Parallel postulate in Euclidean geometry is the one that we all know and use from school, which tells us that there is only one parallel line going through a given point that's going to be parallel to the given line. And Euclidean says that a non-Euclidean says that there are either none, depending on which one you look at, or even more than one. So those are the main differences. My name is Maria, and I just told you the difference between Euclidean and non-Euclidean geometry.
Do you believe we live on a globe?
The short version here is that the rules of the game are different in a spherical space or a hyperbolic space. We won't do much with those other than acknowledge their existence.
The Baltard spinning space monkey community, please allow me to introduce to you your black plague, the black swan. There it is. Bye-bye, ball.
And it's reasonable, right?
And all this science, I don't understand. It's just a job. 5 days a week.
Are there still people who say that the Earth is flat? Yes, there are.
Thanks a lot for searching that out. I appreciate that. Fisherman in the box. Fisherman in a box.